The resistance supply route through the Virginia mountains had taken 4 months to build. 4 months of moving in the dark, of runners and dead drops and cached supplies moved from position to position across 80 miles of Varek-patrolled wilderness. They swept it in 12 minutes. Varek patrol units operate in 12 soldier formations. Each formation covers terrain at a pace no human unit can match, and with surveillance equipment that sees in darkness, in thermal, and through most natural cover. Joseph's unit had found the one thing that defeated Varek thermal surveillance, a mountain spring, cold enough to reduce human heat signatures below detection threshold. They had been standing in it for 40 minutes.
12. Standard formation. They've deviated the route 3 degrees south from last week.
They're not deviating, they're correcting. Someone mapped our cache location.
One of ours.
Well, one of theirs who got close enough to one of ours.
4 months.
I know.
4 months of medical supplies. 2 months of preserved food. 1 shortwave relay unit that had taken 3 weeks to build, and 2 extraction operations to transport. The patrol commander cataloged it in under 2 minutes and signaled for collection. Joseph watched through the scope and said nothing. There was nothing to say.
Commander, resistance supply cache of this scale suggests a unit larger than our current threat assessment. Note in the report, move to the secondary route.
Naya Osei was always doing something with the loss. She could not stop the patrol from taking the cache. She could not give back 4 months of work. What she could do was count. Patrol size, formation spacing, route deviation, response time from signal to collection. Information. Every defeat was also data if you were paying attention.
Signal sent at 4 minutes 12 seconds from first contact. Collection response 8 minutes 40, 18 seconds faster than the Shenandoah sweep.
They're getting faster.
Then we need caches they can't find, not caches they can't reach. Smaller. More of them. Losing one loses 10 days, not 4 months.
Start drawing it.
The route to the administrative residence was different from the route to the court. This one took me past the secondary garrison post on Constitution Avenue. 4 soldiers. Rotation schedule. I hadn't mapped yet. I had 6 days to map it before the full delegation arrived. I spent the walk counting. I had translated documents referencing the administrative residence for 2 years. I had built a picture of it from records and reports and the occasional administrative survey that crossed my desk. The picture was accurate in every detail I could have known. It was wrong about the thing I could not have known. The scale of it, not the physical scale, the domestic scale, the way it felt like somewhere a family had decided to live in a world they had decided to take.
Ms. Cole, your working room is second level, east corridor. Access to the session preparation area and the document library. Family quarters are north wing, your access then extend there.
Is there a schedule for the delegation briefing sessions?
Lord Karav will communicate that directly.
Of course.
The flowers were on a side table in the entrance hall. Earth flowers, not replicas, not Varek equivalents. Actual earth flowers, arranged in a vessel that was not quite a vase, Varek made, functional, slightly too large for the arrangement, and cared for, recently watered. Someone in this household had chosen, every day, to keep earth flowers alive. I noted it. I had no category for it. I moved on. She came from the left corridor. I knew who she was from administrative photographs that did no justice to the quality of attention she carried in her body. She moved the way a person moves when they are always composing, slightly apart from the immediate moment, one layer of observation removed from it, taking everything in for a use you haven't specified yet. I recognized it immediately. It was how I moved.
You speak our language better than our language speaks of you.
Lady Sorel,
I have read the transcripts of your court sessions, the Moravel translation, the way you chose what the room could hear.
I translate within the parameters of my role.
You translated within the parameters of your judgment. That is a different thing.
Is there something I can help you with, Lady Sorel?
Not today. I am simply noting that you are here.
I have been assigned to...
I know what you have been assigned to. I said I am noting that you are here. The two are not the same thing.
He was waiting in the corridor outside my assigned working room, not waiting for anything specific, just present in the way that 13-year-olds are present, in places they are technically allowed to be, but are clearly there because of curiosity rather than purpose. He looked at me with the particular directness of someone who has not yet learned that directness makes adults uncomfortable.
You're the new translator.
Yes.
My father said you speak Varek better than most of our own administrators.
Your father is generous.
He's accurate, he doesn't do generous.
3 languages.
My mother says language is how you know which world you belong to.
And which world do you belong to?
That's the question.
Moraji, the Varek word for homesick. It is a more complex word than the English equivalent. It carries within it the specific grief of missing a place you have not seen for a long time, but also the secondary grief of the person you were when you were last there. It is about the self that was left behind as much as the place. Karav used it sometimes, quietly when he thought he was alone. His son was asking me about it at 13 in a world he had never left, because he was homesick for a place he had never been.
Do you know what Moraji means?
Homesick.
It's more than homesick. It means missing a place and also missing the version of yourself that lived there. Something I don't have a word for. A version of this place that doesn't exist yet. Or maybe existed before it did and I missed it.
There is an English word for that.
What is it?
Grief.
That's a heavy word for 13.
Yes.
Davan trained in the East Courtyard every morning at 6. I learned this on my first day because the sound of it came through the walls of my working room like something that needed to be cataloged. Every movement, every pause, every pattern. It was 12 years of Varek warrior discipline in a 17-year-old body that had never seen a war. He was extraordinary. He was also, very clearly, afraid that he was not extraordinary enough.
You are the new interpreter?
Yes.
You learned my language because you were curious about it.
Yes.
My brother speaks your language the same way. Because he is curious about it.
He speaks it very well.
Yes, he does.
The first delegation briefing was scheduled for the 3rd day of my assignment. They held it on the 2nd day. That was the first thing I noted. The second thing I noted was the door to Karav's private meeting room, which was not fully closed. 200,000 people. North American territory. Within 60 days of the negotiations concluding, I heard it through a door that was open by 3 centimeters. I was standing in a corridor with a document folder in my hands, and I did not move. I breathed. I controlled my face. I let the information settle into me like something I had expected and not like something that had just changed everything. Because in this work, when you receive the most important intelligence of your career, you cannot let your face know it yet.
The first phase timeline. I want to confirm before the full delegation arrives.
Confirmed. 200,000 North American territory within 60 days of negotiations, including Lord Karav.
The processing logistics.
The off-world staging facility will be operational within 45 days. Blue Ridge site.
Good. Close the report.
I walked back to my working room at the same pace I had been walking before I heard it. Same stride, same posture, same expression. The document folder in my hands. The same woman who had been walking to file a document 3 minutes ago. Nothing had changed. Nothing in the corridor showed that everything had changed. The resistance supply route through the Virginia mountains had taken 4 months to build. They rebuilt it in 3 days. That was the difference between Joseph and every other commander the Ember had ever had. He did not mourn what was lost. He replaced what was lost. He mourned at night, alone, where the operational record didn't see it. I know this because it was what I did.
32 locations instead of 8. Losing 1 cache loses 10 days, not 4 months.
Response time.
Each location is independently activated, no single. We lose 3 sites maximum. The other 29 hold.
How long before Amara sends the first residence drop?
She's been in the residence since this morning.
72 hours. If she heard anything worth sending, it comes through the market drop in 72 hours.
The household slept differently from how I expected. Karav read late. I could see the light under his study door. Sorel wrote late. I could hear the particular silence of someone concentrating. Davan slept early and exactly. And Tarev did not sleep at his scheduled hour. He sat at his window. He looked at the sky. He was 13, and sometimes at night, he sat at his window and looked at the stars of a planet that was his home and not his home simultaneously. I understood that more than I wanted to. The first intelligence out of the residence took me 40 minutes to encode. Not because the code was difficult. I had been encoding in my grandmother's system for 6 years. Because I had to be certain of every number, every detail, every piece of intelligence that was going to travel through cloth and dead drops and mountain runners to my brother's hands. 200,000 people. 60 days. He needed to know exactly. He needed to know now. He received the first residence drop 4 days after I encoded it. He sat with it for a long time before he called Nia over. I know this because it is what I would have done. When the intelligence is large enough, when the number is large enough, you need one moment to understand what it means before you begin deciding what to do about it. 200,000 people, 60 days. He sat with it. Then he called Nia. Then they began.
200,000. North American. 60 days from conclusion. Confirmed. First phase.
She's been in the residence for 4 days.
She overheard a closed briefing.
Joseph.
I know. We have 56 days.